So I'm gonna start us off by saying I don't believe society should be led by figures, artists or sports athletes, any of that stuff. Eminem, Marshall Mathers, he talks about how he talks about Trump. He gets this, he gets a feeling, he gets a sense that he gets flustered. He can't get anything out the way he wants to get out, and sometimes people say things to me. Sometimes people say things. I don't know if it's God or whatever you want to say, but it's kind of like it's almost like they're filling in a puzzle. I have one puzzle piece. You have a puzzle piece. The man across the street has another puzzle piece. And some puzzle pieces aren't necessary. Some puzzle pieces just help us. They're a magnifying glass or they're whatever. They're just something to. Oh, this is why this is. This helps you. It's clarifying. I had an old man tell me once to dream back, but keep looking forward. Not stay in the past. Stuff like that. I get what he meant by that. Him saying that he gets flustered because as an American, as a man, we're supposed to have certain ideas that are at a basic level that we agree on. And with Trump, we learned that isn't the case. And I guess we never realized just how far they were willing to go to bring about this white supremacist, Handmaid's Tale type government. And I'm gonna have to watch that show. I'm gonna have to watch the movie. I never thought I would watch Handmaid. I've seen Children of Men. It's a British version. I haven't seen that. The reality of it is Trump was never fit to be president. And whether it was Charlottesville, and whether it was the way he handled George Floyd, whether it was the the handling of COVID, the wasting months, him being briefed about it, doing nothing about it for 2 months. We know Republicans move their own private money around and they're making options and stuff. Isn't that funny? COVID isn't real. COVID wasn't real, but you worried not to move your money. Yeah. That's what I understood. Ain't none of this about drag queens. Ain't none of this about gay people. This is about, it's about them protecting their money and their resources and their things as things get bad. You have to view the world in the guise of climate disaster. Disaster capitalism. You have to view it. And once you realize that there's people who are willing to let the world go to shit, to make money, to make profit, you'll understand. We should have never let COVID get that bad. It should have never been a state's issue, handling a COVID issue. I look at these people talking about New Jersey failed here and Pennsylvania did this. None of that matters. If you got a president that's just gonna throw all the facts out the window, it doesn't matter what studies you do. It's just it just kills me. I have so much respect for these PhDs and doctorates out here, and it's like, don't you get that? If you have a president that does not believe in basic science and basic biology, none of that means anything. Like people say, like you can make $1 million and you can like lose it all being stupid, or you could, just like people say that about wasting money and things like that. Same thing. If you have a president or you have a governor that's an idiot, and if idiots elect him, it doesn't matter what the scientists do. That's the reality of this moment. The handling of George Floyd, coming out and saying, they started looting, started shooting. He went right to that. He never humanized George Floyd, not for 1 minute. These white folks, I be wanting to say, don't you ever think to yourself, that might have played into the protests? Don't you think that, like when the Rodney King stuff happened and the first George Bush, it's like America is degenerating. It is. And you look at like stuff in the past where people like when Obama had the swine flu and Ebola, go back and look at how he spoke. And then look at Trump with COVID. Just making a joke and a mockery, and let's stick some UV light up the butt and let's drink detergents and disinfectants, and America is degenerating. And for a person, Marshall Mathers, looking at Trump in the big picture, I get it. I can because at some point looking at this stuff, you're just How don't Americans get this? How are you still excusing this? How are you voting for Herschel Walker? How don't you see Herschel Walker and say this guy's a joke? How does anyone look at Herschel Walker for 5 minutes and not just bust out laughing? That's why Eminem said that he feels like, I get it. I do. Because we have some unique crises that we're going to have to deal with. We'll deal with what we won't. And, that's one thing. You can argue about a pineapple on pizza. You can argue about those things. But when a president is having talks with Kid Rock about what they should do with North Korea, when a president has people in his administration who are saying COVID was hitting blue states, let's let it run wild. Them things ain't the same. Democrat, they say they're both the same thing. They're not the same thing. They're not the same thing. His response to Democrats, it seemed like his whole presidency was attacking Democrats. Before COVID, when he was talking about, I think the gentleman was it John Lewis that passed, and talking about Baltimore and rat cities and all that. It just like his whole time, it was division. And go back and read the Mad Dog Madness. Look at his resignation. He says that I've never worked for anybody that's just this divisive. That it touched me that we were talking about Trump's cabinet being general's cabinet, and in the end they had integrity. In the end, the generals had the most integrity of anybody in the White House. And I think about that. That touches me sometimes. In the end, they seeing all of them stand up when the protesters are gonna say, "Hey, this is civil matter. We have no hand to be in this. We have nothing to do with this here." That touched me. That what he wants, he can't get. But I just want to end it with that. I get it. How anybody looks at these things and it's just like flabbergasted and frustrated and just I get it. Because you look at society and you wonder, how can you be this stupid? Trump came out a day or two ago and said, if I'm not elected, there'll be bloodshed. How does anybody get up in the morning with something like that and not say, I better get ready? I'm always ready. How anyone sees the kind of stuff he's saying, the statements he's making, people around him are making, and you not, it makes me think I'm just surrounded by morons. Just complete and utter morons. That they are the sheep. So I get it. I'm not a millionaire. I may never be a millionaire, but I get it how you can see this. And now, to add insult to injury, we got 75-degree temps in January. New York. We've got all this heating in the oceans. I think it was 100-degree temp on the coast of Florida last year. I mean, we're going into climate change, and we've got a president screaming, "Drill, baby, drill." He wants to run again. He's talking about baby drill. As I'm literally watching the temperature, as I'm literally watching this stuff happen, it makes you think that you're living in a society of people who a lot of them are largely mentally unfit. It makes you feel that way. And for him, looking at it from a different perspective, of rich man, I get that. You're not alone.